Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where there's no collision. We sift through
The Wreckage.
the wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, Jamie the Vet Williams, and you're here live on Hamin Media Group's YouTube channel, and of course on the Twitch and on channelattitude.com after the fact. Vet, what is crack-a-lacking after a full gear of full of wrestling, I guess?
I don't know. I'm very excited because I have not watched most of Full Gear, so I am looking forward to learning about it from you in real time. That's what's up with me, but other than that, I had a wonderful night, and I've been looking forward to this all night. So, without any further ado, what do we got on tap?
Well, it's funny enough, we weren't the only ones looking forward to it, but even our listeners were saying over previous shows they couldn't wait for the wreckage this week, and I'm actually happy that you guys were actually pumped just as much as we were, because after this week of AEW wrestling, dude, I don't know what to say, man. But you know what?
For this segment of the population, Jimmy, we are in effect the AEW. Like they don't need to watch the show because they come here, they hear everything in a neat, tidy hour and some change, maybe 2 hours, and that's all they really need. That why should they spend 5 hours watching it when they could spend 50 minutes hearing about it, right? Oh, Jimmy has muted himself somehow.
One,
there you go.
You know what? Before we do get into all, whoa, am I muted?
It's just heavily delayed, I guess.
Oh man, of course it has to happen on the wreckage, right? Every time.
I think you're back now.
While I'm back. Well, let's hope it's fixed. But anyway, as I was saying, man, it's been I don't know if you want to say a lackluster week in AEW wrestling, but WWE's been pretty hot this week, to be fair, with all the drama going on with the Bloodline. Actually, I just want to ask you before we get into the news, how do you feel about CM Punk and Paul Heyman being back? And do you think, we'll talk about this on the Smack Attack, but Heyman wearing the red shirt with the suit, everyone's going crazy about it online. Is there a possibility we're getting a turn to Solo's Bloodline?
I mean, sure, there's a possibility, but I think that's just people reading it. You know how these marks get, right?
Well, yeah.
They start seeing stuff that isn't there, and then they start nitpicking this stuff, and then there's stuff that's like blatantly obvious and they miss it. So I don't know. I don't think nothing about that. I don't think anybody would have noticed that if it weren't for internet psychos. How do I feel about CM Punk and Paul Heyman? It's great. CM Punk and Paul Heyman are great. They're great for television. They're great for business. My only thing is, I'm very interested to hear how CM Punk is going to talk his way out of saying, I don't have any more cage matches in me and I need to go away for a while, and then comes right back into another fucking Hell in a Cell match. You know, like it's essentially War Games is Hell in a Cell. It just has 2 rings instead of 1. So it doesn't fit with what he was trying to say before. So now he has to come up with a reason why this is okay, that he's coming right back from 1 cell match to a double cell match. I'm interested to hear how he works his way out of that. But other than that, good television.
No, absolutely. It was great television, as a matter of fact. Heck, even Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, I felt hit it at the park also with their promos, dude. So I thought it was a strong showing on SmackDown. That's for sure.
Those guys know what they're doing, right? I mean, Kevin Owens has always been great. It's just that his presentation isn't always like they have him do. This is okay. Here's what's the problem with Kevin Owens. Nothing with Kevin Owens. But the problem is they keep asking him to flip-flop so many times that this shit doesn't mean anything anymore. So like when he gets up on the desk and cuts that promo, right? It's a good promo and it makes sense, right? But
sure.
But that's the kettle calling the kettle the kettle. Nobody needs to be talking about who turned on who and who betrayed who and who's friends with who and all this stuff. Kevin Owens has turned on every person. They even made a joke about it. Like, if he had not turned so many times, you know, if he had come in as a heel against John Cena and all that stuff and did that program, and he had stayed a heel and fought Sami Zayn a bunch of times or whatever, and then eventually maybe he saw the light and became good, you know, and then now it's like the first time he's going back to the dark side. This would be a lot more compelling, don't you think?
I agree, for sure.
But it's like every week, every other week, or every other month, they'd be like, I'm sorry, Kevin, we need a heel tonight. Or, I'm sorry, Kevin, we're going to make you babyface. Because the reason why this keeps happening is because Kevin Owens is so good at being a heel, at being a sarcastic dick heel who can go in the ring. He's so good that the people want to like him all the time. So the company keeps turning him back babyface. And then they don't know what to do when he's a babyface because he's not supposed to be a babyface. So they turn him heel again. And then it cheapens everything. I just
feel like,
go ahead.
No, continue. Sorry, I was going to say I think it frustrates him also.
Yeah, it probably does, because he has to keep thinking of like, how do I make this make sense? Eventually, he's got to just be like, I'll just take the money and we'll do whatever on any given night. If they tell me to do this promo, I'll just do it. He's always going to deliver. I think Kevin Owens' biggest, like his own. If you're talking about stuff he can take responsibility for, I think his match psychology is whack. He's definitely got the indie mentality. So if you know, if he's in there with a person and they can put a great match together that tells a great story, he can do anything that they want. If stuff is left up to kind of him, then it turns into a lot of ROH kicking out of finishes stuff, right? And sometimes that's okay, but other times that's not needed. So that's why that's the only thing he really's got to work on. The promos there, you know, like I said, he can go. He's got that charisma. I know a lot of people accuse him of being a fat slob, but like if you really look at Kevin Owens, like all of his gear looks clean. Like he's got wrestling boots. He's got fresh wrestling boots. He's got like, looks like sports gear. Like he always has branded basketball shorts, his tank top, you know, whatever his current merch t-shirt is, he's wearing it. Like it looks professional, even though it looks casual, but like, it doesn't just look like a guy in a guard armory or a high school gym. He looks like a professional athlete, but he just has a style to him. Now, if everybody in WWE dressed like that, it wouldn't look good, but he's the only one. So I think it works for him. And he still even wears a wrestling singlet underneath, if you see that. But,
and he used to in ROH at one point.
Yeah, he used to wear the singlet. So like Kevin Owens got a look and everything. The only problem is, the biggest issue is, they keep flip-flopping him, and that's hurt his career, I think. He's still had a great career. Look, he's still working on top right now with the top guy. Right, like, exactly. Still. Yeah, and people are saying, like, he hasn't signed his contract yet. Like, well, he's working with the top guy anyway, so I guess it don't matter, right? Like, so Kevin's good, and Cody, you know, well, he's Cody. You know, the internet complains about Cody, but nobody else cares about the bullshit that the people on Twitter care about.
Hey, and to be fair, I think the last few weeks, Cody's been hitting him out at the park in terms of his promos, man. I think he's not, you know how he's usually kind of comes across as sort of sarcastic initially, but he's not trying to be sarcastic. He's actually trying to be serious, but he just comes across that way. I think he's improved on that. Now he comes across like he means it, but he has to scream it to the audience for it to seem like he means it, and that's what he's been doing.
Yeah, I mean, Cody pretty much knows what he's doing, pretty much. Yeah, he veers off course here and there, but every wrestler does. There ain't no perfect wrestlers out there, so I don't know why everybody keeps holding people up to certain standards. I mean, sometimes he gets a little too Cody, and when he was at AEW, he was a lot too Cody. Because he probably didn't believe the shit that he was doing, you know, like the worst ever was that thing with Anthony Ogogo. That had to have been the worst program I've ever seen him involved in. And he's done some stupid shit, but that was absolutely embarrassing. So, sometimes he can sort of get ahead of his skis or whatever and get a little too Cody Rhodes. But, if someone, like that's what I mean. Like, if people knew what they were doing, they could like they could harness that and focus it, you know?
Right.
That would be the perfect job if I still wanted to be involved in wrestling, if I wanted to have a job in wrestling, it would be just the guy that goes around, talks to everybody, kind of figures out what they're trying to do and then tells them how to best do it, rather than come up with creative bullshit for them to try to make look good. I shouldn't be asking people to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I should just be giving them the chicken salad ingredients, right? To make a good chicken salad. Right. You know, like not everything should have to be salvaged. It should be good when they give it to you. And that's, you know, but again, that's the company's fault. And it's also, that's something that has to be corrected with the new era, and the new era hasn't still really been around that long. So it could, maybe we're getting that course correction. But I mean, like you already said it, like the past couple weeks, Cody's been, you know, doing a better job. Right. So absolutely, somebody may have told him like, hey, maybe, you know, maybe do a little bit of this, you know, maybe they're workshopping his promos with him.
It wouldn't surprise me, because he has changed his style and his ways. So I've noticed that, you know what I mean? So, and good on him, because it's working. But anyway, like I said, we talk about WWE and then we get into AEW. But before we do get into AEW as a whole, how about we touch on a couple of news? It's not really that much, but you know what? We'll talk about it anyway.
Let's just touch it real quick. Let's just brush it.
Let's just brush it. So here's the news. Well, there's not much news, and really, to be honest, the last few weeks have been kind of underwhelming. But nevertheless, we'll touch on some things that I guess might mean anything to our audience.
Yeah.
But
let's touch on a few things. First up, Kylie Ray. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, thank you. I was going to bring her up.
Perfect segue.
Perfect segue.
Let's invite Kylie Ray to our hotel room.
No, let's not do that. Because sorry, but you said it perfectly. You set yourself up for that. But yeah, back to Kylie Ray.
This is our coping mechanism for how we deal with the fucked up shit in wrestling.
And I don't want to laugh because, you know, it could have been serious, but whatever. She's been ID'd by WWE. Surprisingly ID'd. Now, I know WWE have been keen on her in the past, but for whatever reason, and she has made a couple of NXT appearances, but she's never actually fully committed with the company. Now, what does this mean, do you think, for Kylie Ray? Do you think we see her back in WWE on a full-time basis? And the thing is, she's been making appearances, but no one's talking about it, dude. I know she was on GCW recently and whatnot, but does anyone even care at this point?
Well, you have to. I mean, look. Before I say anything, let me say I don't know, but let me also throw out there, like what we just joked about. Is this some sort of blackballing, perhaps? Like, you think about it. Like, are you gonna speak out against the?
About now, I get it.
The learning tree, right? Or is that what you're gonna do? And then what's gonna happen? Is one of those branches gonna fall off and smack you? And next time you try to get a booking somewhere, you see what I'm saying? So like maybe the reason that we haven't been hearing about her is because, you know, there's been some payback for what she did. Which I'm not saying that she did something wrong. What I'm saying is like the guilty hardly ever get punished. Usually the innocent are the ones that continue to be punished, right? So is that what's happening? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know for sure, but I have my suspicions about why things are the way they are and how they work. So maybe WWE's like, well, fuck it. We always wanted to do business with Kylie Ray, so let's put the tag on her. And then that way, and I don't really know why. I don't know why they would bother. I think they should just sign her if they want, because they already know what she is. She's been she's been around for a minute, so why waste any more time or risk her getting hurt? Because some shitty ring and some place has like a board with a nail in it sticking out or whatever. Just if you want to sign her, just sign her to NXT now. I don't think she needs a ID tag.
No, but what's funny about blackballing her? Isn't it true that if WWE IDs you, no one else can actually sign her up other than WWE? WWE gets first dabs, right?
They get first dibs, but they can still let. So, for example, let's say Billy Corgan says, "I want to bring Kylie Ray back," because obviously she worked there before, right?
Absolutely,
she left.
Right, yeah.
Maybe that's a bad example because there was apparently harassment issues there. What company has she worked for that she did? Let's say Stardom. How about that? Stardom wants to bring in Kylie Ray for a contract, 1-year contract. WWE can sign Kylie Ray on the spot, or they can let her sign with Stardom, but she's still on the ID tag. So go work there, go make your money there, and when that run is over, we'll talk again.
I get you. I feel you.
So it's they get first right of refusal. So if Stardom wants to sign her and WWE is cool, go to Stardom, get some tours, make some money, get some experience, and then whatever. That's how all these people are. It's not that they can't be signed. It's that WWE will either let them sign with another company or they'll sign them right away. But if they don't sign them right away, then they can take the deal. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like
right.
Kind of like when what is the term in like football? They have like
I know what you're talking about.
Unrestricted free agent? Restricted free agent. Like you could talk to other teams.
Elsewhere, though. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you could talk to certain other teams, and if a team makes you an offer, your current team has the right to match it or exceed it. It's like that.
Isn't that an unrestricted free agent? Oh no. Sorry, that's the highest bidder. Restricted is exactly that. You can talk to other teams. Yeah, but technically, even with the team that does match, if you go and see, over history, usually they don't usually stay with that team. Generally, they want to get away from that team anyway. So,
true.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I find that interesting. But how does WWE? How do they end up doing something like this where they're king now? Like when it comes to any talent out there, pretty much.
Well,
it's amazing how they achieve that. You know what I mean?
Because they're not really. It's a win-win situation,
right?
Like
but
they're not
dictating the rules here in a way.
I mean, but wouldn't they be dictating the rules if they just signed somebody and just sit them and don't use them, like they do with a lot of people?
I guess no. That's a good point. Also, I just
is Apollo Crews. Like, you think he's happy with what's going on with him right now? Like, you think he'd rather be out taking bookings with an ID designation? What do you think? I mean,
well, at this point,
this is a brand new thing. So everybody's going to speculate on it, and not one person, including myself, is going to know jack shit about it. We're only basing it off of the information that we have. And where do we get this information? We get it from the same places that we talk shit about all the time. The dirt sheets and the fake reporters. And so we get this information from them or from an official WWE press release. And when the WWE does an official press release, everybody goes, oh, that's bullshit anyway. So nobody believes anybody, but yet we're still out here and this is the information we're working with. So I'm fully admitting that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to present a possibility based on what I'm hearing. So that's how I understand it. If they change their mind or if they move the goalposts and change the rules as they go, I mean, we'll see. But right now, it looks pretty cool because it's like a little bit of it's just giving like a little bit of a boost to people that were grinding it out on the indies, knowing that there's like a slight light at the end of the tunnel because a lot of them just want to be discovered by WWE. So now this is them just saying, hey, we see you, we see what you're doing, keep it up. When we think you're ready, we'll sign you. And that may not end up being WWE. Maybe it will be like a New Japan, or maybe it will be a MLW or AEW. They asked Tony Khan about what he thinks about it, and he said, well, it's going to be interesting because we'll find out what really happens the first time I try to sign somebody that has that tag. Was what his answer basically was. So but he's right. That is interesting. Though we won't know until Tony wants to sign somebody and WWE lets him or doesn't let him, right? That's the first time we'll see what's up.
Unbelievable, man. When you put it like that, it blows my mind that they're somehow able to do that, man. And we'll see. Like you said, we'll see what happens when Tony Khan does try to sign someone. Sticking with WWE, I don't know if you heard, Vet, and I'm sure you probably have, but from January 1st, 2025, all areas that will be having Netflix new streaming home of WWE will be basically having no more WWE Network. The WWE Network will be dead, kaput, because everything is moving over to Netflix. But isn't that kind of still the same thing? What does that mean? Like, no more WWE Network, yet everything will be on Netflix. Isn't that the same sort of scenario with Peacock? I mean...
Yeah. And then what happens to Peacock? Is that deal up?
Well, 2025, yeah. January 1st, 2025, that deal is up.
Yeah, so they have to move it all off? That's going to suck. And what if Netflix decides they only want 5 years and not the 10 years? Then they're going to have to move the stuff again. Shit, and we're going to be waiting. And it takes forever. If you noticed, if you remember, if you were around for the launch of WWE Network back in, 10 years ago now?
2014, exactly 10 years ago.
It took forever for them to upload a lot of that stuff because it takes time, man. It takes time. And yeah, they have a huge library. And then when they moved to Peacock, a lot of that shit wasn't up there. So like they probably just now finished putting stuff on Peacock, and now they're gonna have to take it off.
100%,
they're like,
man.
Whoo, we finally got we got WCW Sin on there finally. Oh, what, we're moving? Oh shit. Yeah, so
2001, remember that, Sin? Isn't that where Psycho Sid broke his friggin' leg off the top rope, if I remember?
Probably.
If I remember correctly. But hey, the King of 2K24 brings up an interesting point. No, Jimmy, because now you play to Netflix and not directly to WWE. I know that, obviously. But is that part of the deal? Does WWE get any sort of coin from that? Or it's part of the deal that they signed?
That's under the terms of the contract that WWE and Netflix signed that none of us are privy to and will not be privy to. You ain't gonna see Mike Johnson with a copy of that fucking contract. I'll tell you that.
No chance.
So we don't know, but essentially, I think how much money was it? How many billions of dollars are they getting for this?
Wasn't it 10?
Was it 10? Well, anybody in the chat can
well, 12, something like that. It was up
whatever,
there, man.
whatever amount of billions of dollars. That's not negotiable, but like it's variable depending on if they extend the contract to 10 years from 5. Because remember, it's an option, right? So it could end up being like, more, but that's the deal they signed. And I think that covers everything in total. It might even cover, like residuals,
If I remember correctly, I'm trying to look it up. If they decide to, the King of 2K24 said 9 billion. I'm pretty sure it was 10. I'm sure it was more than that. But I know one thing. The thing is, if they decline to stay for 10 years, then they get 5 billion out of the deal. That's what I remember.
Essentially, it's like $1 billion a year then at that rate.
Right. It's practically that. I'm just trying to see
which guess what? USA was never going to be able to afford, or not really anybody would want to afford.
Okay, hang on a minute. Now it says here the Netflix deal. Let's see. Maybe the deal between WWE and Netflix is valued at approximately 5 billion over the contract's duration. Boy, was I off. So apparently 5 billion.
Okay, so is that a minimum of 5 years though, or is that like if it goes to 10 years, they still only get 5 billion?
I could have sworn it moves up. It goes up But I'm gonna
All right. Well, you know what? It's not really important because we were talking about like something else entirely. I mean, we're just
right.
This was just a question. This was just a question that, I mean, I don't even remember what the original question was.
No, it was about WWE Network moving over to Netflix, but WWE Network is going to be no more. So basically, Netflix is going to be doing everything that comes to WWE's programming. You know what I mean? The WWE will have nothing to do with their programming in terms of
except for the fact they also have NXT and SmackDown.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah. Like, see what happens with that?
It's just raw. Like it's just raw. Why are we even talking about this? Who gives a shit? Who gives a fucking shit?
Oh, and one more thing I wanted to ask you before we move on. What about the TV14 hoopla, dude, that everyone's crapping on about?
I don't give a fuck.
I personally don't think it will be going to TV14. That's what's funny.
It's already TV14 now. People are constantly getting into fights and using... Dude, what would you have rated it when The Rock was on there cussing on television?
Yeah, that would have been MA maybe even pushing it anyway. Probably not.
Wasn't he on SmackDown or he's like, you're fucking shitting me or whatever? Like, come on.
It was on SmackDown, dude. Yeah, which is even funnier because it was on Fox, which is way more low key, if you know what I mean. Yeah, compared to USA Network.
It don't matter.
Well, fuck that anyway. So, and last but not least, and this is back to AEW news. Saraya announced that she's taking a little break from AEW to do some TV projects.
Oh, nice.
I don't really care. I'm sure you don't either, but I
definitely won't be watching them. But good for her. I'm happy. I really mean that. Good for you.
I wonder what those TV projects will be. Now, I wonder.
I'm sure they're legit. Come on, she's the inspiration for the classic Dwayne Johnson produced film Fighting with My Family.
Oh God, that was bad. You know what? Is The Rock overrated when it comes to producing shows?
Jimmy, I don't know how to tell you this, but The Rock has been overrated since 1996.
I should have done a
No, you shouldn't have, because that wasn't a joke.
But do you mean that in terms of in ring as well? Like,
I mean everything.
Wow.
Look, The Rock. Look, every wrestler in some form or fashion, especially the top guys, are overrated. Doesn't mean they're bad. Overrated doesn't mean bad. But if you really, I want to explain something that I think people forget when they mark out for fucking Dwayne Johnson. Okay, I like Dwayne Johnson as much as anybody else has in the past. I respect everything that he's done in wrestling. You know, the fact that he's just a big phony doesn't bother me that much. It may act like I do because I call him out for it, but I just, you know me, Jimmy, I just call it like it is. I call it like it is with you, Ray, anybody else. And I'll certainly, I'm not going to mark out for The Rock just because he's way more over and famous than me. I don't care. I don't think anybody walking this planet, I don't look at them as like they're on a pedestal better than me. We're all human beings on this planet.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it. So this is just my unbiased view, but let's just look at the history of it, because people tend to forget with rose-colored glasses looking back. They didn't like Dwayne Johnson from day one. He was Die Rocky Die within months of his debut. Then they turned him heel and put him in the nation, and people started to like him. And then he finally broke out on his own, and then he, turned heel again, and then he turned babyface again. But by 2002, like in a short 6 years, they were already booing The Rock just for being a babyface. They booed him against Hogan. They booed him against Lesnar. People always keep getting tired of The Rock, and he just keeps hanging around. Like, think about the Young Rock. When the Young Rock first came on, it was doing decent ratings, and then every season after that was plummeting. His movies are like, he'll make a shitty movie like Skyscraper, and it'll probably lose a ton of money and nobody will talk about it because then he inserts himself into a bigger franchise like Fast and the Furious. And then it feels like they're almost giving him credit for that franchise's success, even though they already had 4 movies before he came into it. So The Rock is always constantly trying to position himself and how to look good. And the man is full of talent and ability, but he works so hard to preserve his image rather than just be a real dude. And people can see through that shit and they just boo him after a while. Like, they get tired of his bullshit after a while and they keep doing it. And it's the same thing. Like, if The Rock had never left from when he even look at how he's still carrying around that fucking People's Championship. The last time he showed up on TV, he had that fucking shit kicker belt that he forced Muhammad Ali's widow to give him on her husband's Hall of Fame induction.
That's weird, dude. That is kind of weird. Let's be real. It is. It really is. I mean,
any more Rock fans in the house? Where's Andrew Bello? Can he come in and defend this shit?
Shout out to Bello.
Yeah.
I mean, that is weird when you put it like that. I mean, and I remember now thinking back on it, and I didn't think about it until you brought it up. That is kind of weird, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it truly is. I mean, he's shit. He's a narcissistical maniac for sure. A narcissistic maniac. I mean, 100%. But, and plus, you know, all the bullshit people forget with him in the Oprah situation.
Look at Zay Vicious. I'm a fan now. He didn't like him before, but after I cut that promo, he likes him. No, I mean, look, again, sorry, Jimmy, I don't want to, I'll let you finish your thought, but I'm just saying, like, even with all that stuff said, The Rock is great for wrestling, great for entertainment, do stuff. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But that's just, I temper all those things, all of his good qualities with all that stuff I said too. You know, it makes it harder. I enjoy The Rock, but it makes it harder to enjoy when I know all that other stuff. That's all.
No, and that's fair enough. And that's what sucks too, man. Sometimes I wish I never knew fucking all the insides and outside of when it comes to pro wrestling bullshit, all that background shit, you know what I mean? But it goes hand in hand. And plus, you know, we got a job to do. But even when I was young, I was into that type of shit. You know what I mean? When it wasn't on my television screen, I wanted to know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because now I don't want it on my screen as much as I used to want it on my screen. But yeah, weird shit. Anyway, that's pretty much the.
Oh wait, well one more thing. Hold on. I want to address this comment from Solo P1. Entertainment makes money. The technical wrestlers don't. The Rock in '99 was the shit. Stop being disingenuous. I don't disagree with anything that you said, Solo P1.
'99.
I don't disagree with anything you said except that last part. Stop being disingenuous. If there's one thing I'm not being, it's disingenuous. I'm just telling you the other side of it because we don't need to hear any dick sucking like what you're doing. We've all heard that shit before. What you need to hear is the stuff that people don't say. That's what I'm here for. So I'm not being disingenuous. You could dick ride The Rock all you want, and I put him over too, but I'm just saying that's how it is. That's it. But you're right. Entertainment does make money. The Rock is mainstream. That's it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
I didn't say anything about, oh, well, The Rock shouldn't be in the main event because I want a technical wrestler in the main event. Did I say that? I don't remember saying that. I just said the people kept turning on The Rock.
Stop swearing, Vic. Come on, man. I'm the one that swears all the time for crying out loud, just quietly. But yeah, look, I said it myself. I was a Rock mark.
We got to make sure we get that TV 14 rating. So when we go to Netflix,
well, technically we are. You know, we're not for children under 14, shall we say? But anyway, we'll drop an F-bomb here and there. I know I do, and trust me, sometimes I can't help it. But anyway, let's get back to the wrestling. But and like I said, I know exactly what you're saying when it comes to The Rock, man. I totally understand. You just got to put that shit aside when trying to be a fan of his. And, I always get reminded.
I mean, like, I was so ready for The Rock to come back and be a part of, like, the Bloodline story in some way. But
I was.
Nothing they did with him was any good. Like, nothing. I was just every time he was on the screen, I was like, God, this could be so good, but it's not. I wanted it to be way better, but a lot of people were just so happy he was back. They didn't really see that, like they were cool with it.
I do love the presser though, that WrestleMania presser in Las Vegas when a lot of shit went down. I felt like at that time that was the best presser ever, dude. Like for a WWE presser or wrestling presser in every sense, because it felt like a show in itself. But yeah, look, sometimes he comes across as outdated in a way, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like when I say outdated, I'm talking about like I feel like he's got a mentality of the bygone years in terms of his storytelling in some ways. But I like it. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying like because I like it. But just little like whipping Cody and he repeats himself. I mean, how many times was he saying the same shit? Let's be honest.
I don't know. Like like I said, I feel like his performances were good, but it was the story around it, Like
Yeah, because of
the final boss the final boss. That whole deal was like, yeah, maybe the moniker was a little bit corny, and some of the stuff he did was a little bit corny, but he was doing good, like good TV, especially that one promo he did. I can't remember what it was, but I remember putting it over on some episode of something here. And that's after me, weeks of me burying him or whatever. But like, but I mean, he did good. But what I'm saying was the overall creative, because they had to like, he just showed up and he's like, well, I'm free to do stuff now. And they're like, okay. Yeah, that's another problem. Like the fact that he put them in a position where they had to like shoehorn him in, rather than have like a plan, because he wouldn't give him enough advance notice when he would be available for stuff. And then they have to like,
Triple H said that publicly.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know, whatever. Enough about The Rock. The Rock's great, especially 99. So anyway, what's next, Jimmy? Is it time to sift?
Well, anyway, let's get into it's time to sift, bro. It's time to sift through the AEW Wreckage. And unfortunately for you, you're going to have to start because I'm later on after we do the Dynamite Rampage talk.
Jimmy gets some Wreckage here.
Eesh.
Jimmy gets some. Dude. Jimmy gets. Yeah, let's start with Dynamite. Let's start sifting through. Okay, Dynamite exploded. We got to sift through that, right? So
he exploded, all right.
Right. Full Gear go home show, except for Rampage, kind of. So yeah. So they're gonna start with just what everybody wanted to kick off the show: Ricochet, Hobbs, and Ospreay, and also Mark Davis. I wrote also Mark Davis because he didn't get his own entrance. He just came out with Will Ospreay.
Poor Mark Davis.
And then Mark Davis. That's your boy, Mark Davis.
I'm not a real big fan of his, but to be fair.
So it's oh sure now. Ricochet, Hobbs, Ospreay, and Davis versus all the guys they're mad at.
Yeah.
In an 8-man tag. Versus it's the Callis family basically, right? So and then so this is exactly where you're gonna lose me, because they jump started the match, right? And they're fighting. And then when the guys finally get in the ring, it's Mark Davis and Takeshita, and they've just been fighting. Remember, they all hate each other. They're viciously brawling. They get in the ring and do headlock tackle.
They hate each other, Vet.
I was just punching you, but now let's do headlock tackle drop down. Okay. Well, you guys are dumb. I got really nothing to say other than it ends with the
psychology, bro.
None. And ends with the same guys. Takeshita does the knee strike on Mark Davis and beats him. And so, another guy that has a knee move.
Wasn't that after Ospreay hit him though? Hit Davis, if you remember.
I don't remember. I don't care.
Yeah. Ospreay, actually Cole Fletcher kind of done a nice sidestep away where Mark Davis was, exposed. Ospreay hit him with his elbow, whatever it's called. And then that's when the finish happened. And then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
but the match went for way too long.
Well, come on, you didn't think we'd have that much to do on this show, right? To get people excited for a pay-per-view that they actually have to buy and can't just subscribe to a streaming service to see. At least not till next year when things will be available on Max. So good move there. We get a Death Riders cinematic promo and yada yada yada. Darby Allin responds. And yeah. Any thoughts on those promos?
Nothing at all, to be honest, man. There's nothing for me to say because I'm starting to really. We'll get to it, and it involves Darby Allin, but we'll get to it when we do.
No such thing as a rest hold, Mike. Not in my world. Okay, so Renee is with the Hurt Business, and they. Okay. They tell you here in this promo that Bobby Lashley is going to be in action tonight. Unfortunately, that is supposed to be news to us, but in the previous tag team match that we just saw, Excalibur already said that Bobby Lashley is going to be fighting two guys tonight. So he completely jumped the gun on this reveal, as it were.
He did.
And that's not going to be the only time that happens, which I don't know if that was dumber, that he already ruined it and they went ahead with it anyway, or the Swerve Strickland shows up with a chain wrapped around his fist and punches Bobby Lashley and just laughs, and everybody just looks at him and then he just leaves. That was like a Seth Rollins chain punch.
Whose idea was this shit? That's what I want to know, bro. I hope for the sake of Swerve, it wasn't his idea, man.
Again, teaser for later. I didn't watch Full Gear, but I'm very excited to see if they can stop making Swerve look like a moron.
Oh,
okay. Say no more. It's story time, baby. And
speaking of morons,
and this strangely colored human being is on the microphone, and then Kyle O'Reilly comes out, and he warns Adam Cole like, "Hey, man, you don't want to do this, man. We need to just leave this behind, man." And Kyle O'Reilly is doing a good promo. It's just that, much like with what I'm saying about, the overall creative, it's corny. Like just because you do a good job in your role, but if the overall thing you're doing is bad and corny, then no one cares. So I want to point out that Kyle O'Reilly was good in this, but it didn't matter because this whole thing is ridiculous.
And he just left abruptly too, dude. It's like he didn't even have a full stop. It was just like blah, 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 left. You know what I mean? And that's it. Like, and then you see, Cole just sitting there like pondering. Like,
okay,
am I more evil than MJF? Can I be more evil?
Well, yes, you are, because you were the devil, remember? But never mind. We don't need to think about that. Forget all that.
No.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to contemplate in AEW, so I can understand anybody that gets caught gazing off into the distance. And then the announcers, again, Excalibur's like, "We go backstage to the conglomeration," but it's only Orange Cassidy. So that's
right. I was tripping out on that too, dude. It was literally just Orange.
Right. It's just Orange Cassidy, but then he starts doing the promo, and then the conglomeration come in and join him and talk to him. And it's like, oh, so Excalibur was psychic. He knew all of them were there, even though it's only Orange Cassidy, right? So that's twice now that Excalibur has stooged off the creative. But anyway, yeah. So Orange Cassidy does the thing where he says, "Guys, no matter what happens out there, I need to do this on my own. I don't want to get you involved in this." It's the very noble baby face. Yeah. I need to do this alone. Jimmy was making the "I need to do this alone" motion.
Yeah, exactly. Just saying, because that's a load of shit. Anyway, we'll get right there. That's a while away still, but still, please continue.
Okay. So Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. Fatlander versus Fat Shida.
I mean, at least with Statlander, her face hasn't changed. You know what I mean? Like she still looks like Statlander, right?
I mean, a little bit, maybe a little. But anyway,
little,
she hits.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So she hits the Five Nights at Freddy's on Shida, and then Mercedes Moné comes out, and she talks her way to the ring as if the last 2 weeks had never happened. Like everything's just cool. I'm still just an arrogant heel. Nobody went through a wall. Nobody ran anybody over with a, with an Escalade. Like none of this ever happened. We're all just still in this mode where, like, we're just bitchy back and forth. And then she sicks the one-armed Camille on both Shida and Statlander. So
buried him.
Obviously, yeah. They ping pong Camille around and kick the shit out of her. And then, Mercedes jumps in the ring and she gets FNAF'd also.
Wait till the pay-per-view, Vet. That's all I'm saying.
I did see a little bit, but we'll talk about that.
Becky Hater.
Becky Hater.
Sorry, Revamp. No Becky Hater.
I'm a Becky lover.
Yeah. So
MVP and Shelton beat Swerve in the stairwell like he's Camille.
Yeah. Well, it was a Swerve lookalike anyway.
Was it?
It was right. Yeah, it wasn't Swerve. Oh, you thought that was Swerve? It wasn't.
It
Swerve.
wasn't? Are you sure?
Yes.
So they just grabbed some other guy. Shelton just grabbed a guy, and MVP looked at him right in the face and was like, "Oh."
They thought it was Swerve, right? They thought it was Swerve. But after they beat him up, because he was wearing Swerve's jacket, MVP goes to him, "Where'd you get that jacket from?" Right? Once they realized it wasn't Swerve, they still beat him up anyway. Like,
okay.
And then he didn't say nothing, and they just assumed it was from Swerve. But he was a Swerve lookalike.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't him.
Well, that's much better then.
Right. That's funny.
Because other than that, yeah, it didn't really make sense. Like the police. Okay, that's okay. Thank you, Zane. That's all I needed to hear. Understand.
Yeah.
We get a package for Jay White and Adam Page, and then we get Bobby Lashley versus his two guys.
God,
which
this is hilarious.
His two guys are Joe Keys and Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, you got a pop, dude. You got the loudest pop out of everybody.
Of course he did. It's Cheeseburger. He's the best wrestler ever named Cheeseburger in the business, bro.
There's no other cheeseburger like Cheeseburger, bro.
Right.
Straight up.
And he still hasn't apparently ever had one, but that's fine because it would ruin the gimmick if he ever actually gained any weight or, did anything.
He hasn't changed. I haven't seen Cheeseburger in a while, dude, and he was still the same Cheeseburger.
Dude, even on Ring of Honor, they don't use Cheeseburger. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say he hasn't been in New Japan nowhere, bro. I haven't seen him for a long time, for a good few years, maybe 3 years, dude.
Now, how about this for a deep cut? Perhaps I'm giving everybody way too much credit, okay? But it is not lost on me that this is Bobby Lashley's in-ring debut for AEW, and he's facing a man named Cheeseburger. And if you remember, in Bobby Lashley's WWE debut, he faced Simon Dean under the condition that if Simon Dean lost, he would have to eat an entire plate of
cheeseburgers.
Yes.
Do you think they that was an Easter egg? Obviously, it had to be.
Do I think? Because, well, at first you might say, no, that's crazy, Vet. What are you talking about? You're looking way too much into this. But didn't we just talk about how they never used Cheeseburger ever?
Right. No,
why do you randomly bring him back now for Bobby Lashley? It's obviously a genius callback to 2006.
That's all Lashley then, dude. 100%, I think. Has to be. There's no way TK thought of that. Then again, he probably was a fan during that time of WWE, ironically. So I wouldn't put it past him, but could he possibly remember that? I mean, you did, so Hey, all credit. I mean, shit. It's a good call though, man. Because I remember
Yeah.
that.
Or do
It's
I just
funny.
want to flex that I remember something? Who knows? It doesn't.
No, that's a good
It's
one.
not
That's
really
a very
important.
good call. No, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. That's a good point out.
Bobby Lashley was at OVW when I was there. Not for long.
No shit.
They were like, get me this guy. But yeah, they called him Blaster Lashley, and Mike Mondo would ride him like on his shoulders. Like he would have Bobby Lashley like carry him to the ring, and he was like riding on his shoulders, like
no, bro.
Get it? Because like
I get it.
Blaster Master from
Yeah.
Beyond Thunderdome, right? Was it Master Blaster or Blaster Master?
Master Blaster, I think, dude.
Master Blaster? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Man.
So
he was huge during that OVW run too, man. Like, wow.
He was like Bobby Lashley's not super tall, but his back is as wide as a person as tall is what it feels like when you're standing there. He's just got a humongous, unearthly back. But
the fact that he can still maintain his body to this day is just unbelievable, bro.
Right. Yeah, he's never looked any different.
Never, man.
Anyway, you know what happens here. So Bobby Lashley wins, and then Nana and Swerve come out and kind of divide and conquer for at least a second.
By the way,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say it was Blaster Lashley, not Master. Not Master.
No,
Blaster.
I said he's Blaster Lashley. I was talking about the movie. The Mad
Master
Max
Blaster.
movie.
Yeah, you're right. Master. Yeah, spot on.
But yeah, he was Blaster. He was Blaster Lashley, but Mike Mondo was riding the shoulders, so he was like the master.
No,
I guess.
You're right.
But they didn't call him that. Yeah. It was just Mike Mondo. That's just all he was. But yeah, it was cool. They both wore camo pants like the Dudleys, and and Mike had that German helmet, that black motorcycle, that German army helmet thing, whatever.
The one that covers your ears as well. Like,
yeah, that thing, dude. It was so funny. Those guys were so good. And I know Cornette was thinking like, I'll put Lashley with Mondo because he'll probably learn, a lot quicker working with him and everything. Mike Mondo is such a genius, like as far as wrestling is concerned.
I agree. Has he been, dude? I haven't seen him around HMG for a
He's working NWA right now, doing a lot of shows with them. So
I've seen that.
He's getting in great shape again. So yeah.
Good on him,
but
man.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, go on the HMG YouTube channel and watch the show that Ray and I did with Mike, where he came on and broke down matches and stuff with us. As kind of like, because he does a consulting for independent wrestlers and stuff like that, and we wanted to give him like a platform to give kind of like a free sample like of what he does, and it was just good to hang out with him and talk to him.
That was last year, wasn't it? I think.
Or
the year before?
God, it's hard for me to remember time anymore. But anyway, it's up there.
Level, though.
Yeah, I made sure to. I told Ben, make sure this is free and available for everyone, because I don't want it going behind the paywall. I want everybody to be able to see this. So go check that out if you missed it. But anyway, here's the issue I had. So Swerve actually hits his stomp on Bobby Lashley, and then Bobby Lashley just gets up like it's nothing, and then Swerve has to run into the crowd to escape.
Who's the heel here, right? I didn't know baby faces run off like chicken shit.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I feel like both of them are tweening, man, like in a weird way. Especially in the match, like at the pay-per-view. When we get to that, I'll explain, but there's something off about both of them, like who's the babyface and who's the heel, you know what I mean?
Swerve Strickland is the same thing I was talking about with Kevin Owens. He does a good job of being a heel, then people think it's entertaining because they're like, well, wrestling's fake anyway, so whoever does the most entertaining stuff, we're cheering for it. Guys like Swerve breaking into Hangman's house and threatening his children with t-shirts, or MJF saying a bunch of outlandish shit on the microphone. It makes people laugh, and so they like him, and then they think, oh, well, we got to turn these guys babyface because they're getting a positive crowd reaction. No, you're not a babyface or a heel because of what the crowd does. You're a babyface or a heel because of what you do. And if these sick people want to cheer for breaking and entering and talking about people's like personal lives and stuff like MJF would do. Like if you want to cheer for that, then that's just a reflection on the crowd. But they shouldn't change who they are now because the crowd is doing something, right? So anyway, well, here's something we never need to change: babyface or heel. Renee is with Mina and Mariah May, and they just shake.
I'm not complaining. But can I ask, dude? Now I must have missed something, but when did Mariah May get a black eye?
I don't know.
Do you know? Did you notice?
Dude,
Okay,
I couldn't even
cool.
tell. I couldn't even tell that
one.
wasn't the real Swerve, so I definitely didn't see her eye.
I don't think she had a black eye then. That's what I'm saying. But on the pay-per-view, she did, and I don't know when that happened because I watched the week of AEW, and I'm thinking,
it must have been. Then it must have been on Friday's match. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
All right. Next is Darby versus Claudio. I'm not really paying attention, but what I did see, it looked like a lot of tossing. It looked like a lot of human tossing. That's what I saw.
Shit, bro. Dude, I don't know, man. We're both fans of Darby, right? Like we are. We truly are.
Did he think Darby was a frisbee of some kind or something?
Dude, man, Darby's going through hell. Even in this match, he went through hell, dude. Went through hell. I mean, Castagnoli was just treating him like a bag of shit, dude. Like he was just. But I'm starting to hate this because now it's becoming the norm. Like I know they've always done this to him, right? But it's like he's got no offense anymore, dude. He's not like he's losing a lot of matches, man, over and over and over and over. And I don't know where this is going, where this is leading to. But whatever it is, and if you're trying to get sympathy with him, he's not going to get sympathy. Because this is what he does himself. This is what he wants. You know what I mean? I'm sure everybody knows this. So I don't understand what they're trying to do.
I do agree. I feel as though that, again, with the overall environment that AEW has created through blatant hot-shotting for 5 years, they've conditioned people to where even like what traditionally should be effective in wrestling booking kind of isn't. Because now the people are reconditioned to the hot-shotting. So they're also conditioned to no matter how crazy things get, unless you raise the bar, nobody's going to care. And even when they do raise the bar, sometimes people don't care because it's just not believable at that point. So what you said in the 80s, if you saw a match like this, if you saw this, or even if you want to go back to like, I think the last time anybody, and I'm not saying I felt like this, but maybe some people did. If you want to think about the SummerSlam match where Brock just threw John Cena around and beat him flat.
I love that, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Like people were probably like, what the fuck? They probably
that never happened.
Right. They were tired of Superman John Cena. So to see him just get demolished, I think maybe some of them maybe thought, okay, maybe he's, I feel sorry for John Cena. I wanted him to fight back, but that's most of the time that doesn't happen. It's from a bygone era. We could get back to that again, but again, it's like the slow turning the ship back around and reconditioning people. It takes time to recondition people. Sometimes it's like getting an audience transfusion. You've heard of a blood transfusion. Like we need to get some of this bad audience out of here and get them to quit watching and replace it with like normal people or people that are just, more traditional, I guess, wrestling fans. So.
In other words, that just don't understand the business like the way it's become for everybody now. Because, the windows are wide open for everyone to know what's going on, which also hurts. But, again, with Darby, I get it. Like, realistically, Cesaro's a way bigger guy and whatnot. I totally get that, right? But if you're going to have... Previously, you booked Darby completely opposite, man. Sure, he would still get beat up, but he would win a lot. You know what I mean? And he came across as, it didn't bother me when he won against bigger guys because he understood who he is and how he wrestled is exactly on that understanding of who he is. He'll still get tossed around and whatnot, but he would use his body as a battering ram and all sorts of shit. Now, when he tries to do that, you see Castagnoli just catching him all the time or and just tossing him. Like that's all it is now. And I keep seeing that with Darby. It's almost like, is he like in the dog shit, like in the doghouse somewhere? Like, are they punishing him? What's going on? I don't know where this is going, because if they're trying to build that sympathy again for him, it's not going to work, man.
Yeah, it's not. But I mean, they did what they did, and I mean, I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter, but
yeah. Anyway, AEW.
Yeah. Anyway. So, Renee is with Private Party, and then like some fat guy and a fat kid come in.
Yeah. Who are these guys again, chat, man? I know they're from some friggin' some company, dude, they represent. I forgot what it is. Apparently it's a big deal in the US. I had no clue who the fuck they were. Are they father and son? They look alike.
I think so. They're both fat. Yeah.
They're both fat. The kid annoys me.
Well, the kid is fatter than his dad. That's
the sure. Costco guys. That's it. Of course I know that, because we've got Costco here. So
I don't know what that is.
I should know this. But anyway.
I mean, I know what Costco is. I don't know what these people have to do with it.
I love Costco, Vet, but I don't have a clue who the fuck these guys were.
Oh.
But apparently they're the Costco guys.
Okay. Hold on. So MJF.
I'm being serious, saying.
MJF anyway, cinematically pulls up to the building and cuts a promo on his car hood.
And there was a bum randomly sitting there for no particular reason, busking for money. And MJF just throws a quarter. I don't know. It looked like a coin of sorts for him to go and run and fetch like a dog.
He's definitely a poor.
He's 100% a poor. I don't know why they had to have that detail there, but whatever. He turns up in a Porsche.
Yeah. Renee's with the fat people again. They let him talk again on camera. Like once Costco wasn't enough. They did it again.
You know, Costco like them big, man.
Not even private Party wasn't even here to add some like relevance to this.
Well, I know the dad used to be a pro wrestler back in the day, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, that makes it okay then.
I don't remember him, but yeah.
Shivani is with the Undisputed Kingdom, and Roderick Strong responds to Max's promo saying, you think, basically you think anybody cares that you bring up my family past and all this other stuff? And he's right. Nobody does care. Unfortunately, they don't care about much about this. So it's unfortunate.
What build has this been other than nothing? You just see MJF cutting promos, pre-cut promos no less, from probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Stupid, man.
MJF didn't pull up to the arena. It was at a trailer park signifying where Roderick Strong came from. I don't remember that. It looked like a back alley to me.
I didn't know that's where Roderick Strong came from, but if that's the case...
Yeah, cool. Roderick Strong is from the trailer park. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't see no trailers, though. Did you?
No, but I'll take this guy's word for it.
It's implying they were at a trailer park, though, because of the bum at the very start also. But still,
yeah, because they're only bums are at trailer parks, right? So
apparently.
Well, anyway, wherever he was, that's where he was. So thank you for the correction. Now, this we don't know where this one was, because this is the part where Daniel Garcia and Fat Camera Daddy have a hostage. The hostage is Lil Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
And they torture Little Brooks Jensen by smashing one of the headlights on his bus.
And splashing a little bit of water on his face.
And a little bit of water. It's not quite waterboarding.
They ran off.
Not quite waterboarding.
At least the fat dude was like, yo, Danny, where you going? Eh? You know what I mean? Where you going? Come back. Yeah. While Garcia's running away, bro.
Are you going to watch the Wreckage, Danny?
And he's sitting there saying to Shivani after that, I'm not proud of what we did, eh? but at least he wanted to fuck him up. You know what I mean? At least he still wanted to fuck him up while Garcia was running away, bro. It wasn't even waiting for Fat Daddy, like at all. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, yo, Daddy, wait up, huh? Like, where'd they go? Did they have a car there? There was someone picking him up? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I mean? Like, but they leave the car, they leave the scapegoat freaking mobile there with
Scapegoat.
what else can you call it? But no shit.
Nothing.
Mr. fucking Jensen was literally laughing after that because he got off scot-free, pretty much.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, Daniel Garcia is not a really bad guy.
Dude, it was just like they came across as pussies. Well, Garcia did anyway, in my opinion. That's just me.
It's all right. Well, anyway, Renee, for some reason, is supposed to have this contract signing with Jericho and Ishii backstage.
This is kind of funny.
Not even in the ring, just backstage. But
I mean,
right. So Chris Jericho, he wants to look over the contract with his like lawyers or whatever, and then he gets up to leave, and Ishii just follows him. So Jericho's walking through the arena, and Ishii's just calmly following him the whole way because he doesn't trust Chris. So he wants him to sign the contract. So he just keeps following him, and Jericho goes all the way out to the ring, and Ishii follows him. And then Chris Jericho's like, well, I want to sign this contract, but I don't have a pen. And Ishii has a pen. He gives him the pen. And then the tree branches appear and attack. And then the conglomeration come in and save. And then, they beat everybody up, and then Ishii signs the contract.
Ooh, I didn't know this match was such a big deal.
Huge.
It was so huge that it's not even on the pay-per-view. It's on Dynamite this week.
That's right.
Huge. Thanksgiving Eve.
And not on Ring of Honor, where the Ring of Honor Championship should be defended, but
not at all.
On Dynamite.
Wasn't there that rumor? Yeah, live on Dynamite. Wasn't there a rumor that he was supposed to stay in Ring of Honor now? Wasn't that the rumor going around at one point?
Maybe he wanted to wait until he's come away from this match with the championship before he wants to commit. You know, like he wants to make sure he's still the champion before he commits, because he wouldn't want to be on Ring of Honor with no belt, right? That'd be lame. And then Ishii's there, like holding the belt and taunting him with it.
How many buys does Honor Club have right now, dude? Honestly, how many subscribers? 3,000, 2,000? Am I being
if it was anything significant, we'd be hearing about it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So no one's watching.
Speaking of nobody's watching, here's Renee and Jamie Hayter, and again another Jamie Hayter interview ended by a Dark Julia vignette.
Yeah, this time she was getting stabbed pretty much by bow and arrows.
Yeah.
What happened to the phone call, dude? She got a phone call the week before to reappear for the House of Black.
We're back to this. And was Brody Lee narrating this video?
Sound like it. It
sounded like his voice.
Right. Yeah. I'm assuming it was. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was.
All right. Main event, Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch this. I just skipped to the end.
Did I? So did I.
Okay, so Yuta goes to get a chair, brings it in the ring, goes to swing it at Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy somehow victory rolls him, beats him 1, 2, 3, and then the Death Riders come in and they all duct tape Orange's hands while his hands are in his pockets, and they duct tape his arms or wrap it around him, and then they just like gently shove him around for a few seconds, and John Moxley slaps him a couple times. And then finally, even though whenever they were done with him, the conglomeration comes in, even though because they promised not to help. And the only reason they promised not to help is because there would be no other explanation why anybody would let this shit go on. And even though they promised not to help, I guess the Dark Order also promised not to help. And I guess Private Party also, and Top Flight also. I guess everybody else also promised not to help, because they all just let Orange Cassidy get lightly shoved for 2 minutes. And then finally, they come out, and after the deed is done and the Death Riders are leaving, they're riding, if you will, and then they cut him. Mark Briscoe cuts him loose of the tape, and then Orange Cassidy staggers to his feet in a show of defiance and puts his hands in his own pockets.
Super Orange, man. How does that happen? Honestly, how does that even end up happening?
They really thought that this was like a proud moment, you know, like a brave warrior, like I'm still standing, you can't kill me, that kind of thing.
Damn, that's hard, dude. That's hard. And that's the end of Dynamite. There we go. I mean, this was a shit house show, dude. The only thing I did like, honestly, was the Jericho Ishii little segment of just following each other. That was the most entertaining thing for me. No shit.
Yeah, I did not eat on this episode. Let's put it that way.
No, I like that at all, huh?
No. The closest thing we had was just like a package that had Jay White in it, but it was no. I mean, he kind of cut a promo as part of the package that was new, but you know, it was not enough. That'd be like getting one saltine cracker after you've been waiting all day to eat.
Literally.
Yeah. So Rampage, baby. This is Rampage. So here's where Mariah may have gotten the glamorous black eye, because it was her and Mina Shirakawa versus Harley Cameron, of course, and Nyla Rose, of course. You know, the ultimate team of Nyla and Harley.
When did they get together?
Well, at least this night, and maybe a couple times before. I don't really remember, but probably never. The match ends when Mina no joke. I forget who was carrying who, but Mina and Mariah hit the Steiner Bulldog off the top rope on Harley Cameron.
Damn. Did it look bad?
A little bit, but we'll give it a pass.
Wow.
All things considered.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
What possessed him to do that?
I don't know. There was shaking too. So if you guys missed this match and you're thinking, I don't know, should I go back? I mean, they did shake, so
hey, they've been shaking a lot too.
Yeah, if you're into it, at least you can go back and watch the first match on Rampage and see some shaking.
It's good shaking too, just quietly.
Yeah, the good kind. Now here's the bad kind of shaking, because Lexi Nair does, for some reason, she's chosen to preside over the weigh-in between QT Marshall and the fat guy he has to wrestle on the pre-show of Full Gear that we were already wondering about him and his fat son earlier.
Yeah.
And I just wrote WTF next. I'm not going to dignify this by talking about it. Next match is Juice Robinson versus The Butcher. Guess who wins?
I wonder. Was it the Butcher? Juice. The Butcher's just done and dusted.
The Butcher just, to use a quote from the Outrunners, either, take your pick. Either the Butcher almost won or barely lost.
I feel bad for him, dude. He's just become nothing. He's not even a butcher anymore. He's butcherized. You know, when they used the hammer, I think I've seen this before. That's him now. Yeah. He's the one getting butchered.
Yeah. He got butchered by Juice.
By Juice. I mean, come on, man.
Okay. I'm not going to lie. This part was kind of funny, but I still not going to consider this on the a la carte menu. So Lexi is with Thunder Rosa, and she's like, what's next for Thunder Rosa? And Thunder Rosa's like, well, I'm thinking about doing an open challenge. And then the open challenge immediately gets accepted by what looks to be somebody wearing a hologram mask, but she calls herself Harley Graham. So you can imagine who that is. And she's doing like a robot voice.
See, she's growing on you now, dude. She's growing on you.
Hey, she's not growing. She just did one thing one time. That doesn't count as growth. Growth would be she has to do something else next week that pops me even more. That's growth.
Funny. When
If
she
this
can be, she's funny.
Yeah.
But where is Hologram these days? Actually, Vet, I forgot about.
Remember he got hurt. He got hurt,
Oh,
so they did that
you're
angle where the LFI took him out.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I remember now. That was a good 3 weeks ago, at least. Now, right? See, we've all forgotten about it.
Longer than that.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, your main event though is for some reason, again for some strange reason, the conglomeration takes on the Dark Order in a trios match.
Why?
I don't know, but you know what happens. You know who's going to take the pin. It's going to be Reynolds, and you know it's going to be I guess it must have been Ishii that won because it says here that he gets his. I wrote down Reynolds gets his brain busted, so I assume Ishii beat him based on my notes. I've already forgotten, but yeah, that's it.
I was close to watching Rampage this time. Right, it's become now a gag that I don't watch it, even though I was the original Rampage guy on this very network.
Mm-hmm.
But until I saw the fat guy and his fat kid, that I was like, nah. I'm not watching. Yeah, I'm glad.
A weigh-in. And I already talked about how bad the weigh-in was with Cody back then, or anyway.
With a go.
Remember when Big Show was like doing that like manual scale? I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't have a digital scale out here that you could have. You had that Big Show actually trying to balance this thing.
That's sad, dude. And that was the
if anybody cannot balance weight, it's Paul White. Okay, so
clearly,
yeah.
Oh,
but that takes us to Full Gear, Jimmy, which is where I'm turning it back over to you now, as the Full Gear watcher of the crew. I will say ahead of time I did skim some of it, but a lot of this will be news to me because I am spoiler free so far.
All right. Well, look, I'll be honest. I slipped through the pre-show. The pre-show.
You didn't see the Costco match? God damn it, Jimmy! I want to know how that went.
And really, this was a weak pre-show, to be fair, other than the one match which features our boy Mortos. And you know what? Buddy Matthews to a less extent for me. But in saying that, the first match of the evening was Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo. And boy, is Deonna Purrazzo falling down the pecking order, man. Poor
Deonna.
It is just sad to see. Because guess what? Anna Jay ends up winning by pinfall with a pinning predicament. Can you believe that shit? Anna Jay. Anyway, but that leads us to the main event. It should be the main event, but it's not, unfortunately. It is the Beast Mortos versus Buddy Matthews versus Dante Martin versus Commander. Look,
Amanda?
I like the fact. Yeah.
Oh, Commander.
Amanda.
Commander. You said Amanda.
With a K. But funny enough, I would have rather Mortos win this match, but he didn't. It was Buddy Matthews that wins by pinfall with a stomp to Dante Martin's head. Sounds savage. But
poor Dante.
The big main event. Poor Dante. I mean, poor Mortos, to be honest. I mean, come on.
Is he still conflicted? Join the House of
Black. Like I said, I didn't watch it, but it's like they forgot about that already. Dude, every time LFI is back, they forget about him after 2 weeks and they're gone again, bro. I just can't wrap my head around why even bother with these guys. Just release them already, man. But but anyway, no, really, though. I mean, am I wrong? This is what they do. They forget about them after they're back. Then they rampage and then gone. You know what I mean? Like just forgotten about. But anyway, that leads us to the main event of the pre-show between the Big Boom AJ, apparently that's his name.
Just sounds funny when you say that. The main event of the pre-show.
I mean, it's the last match. They did kind of build it, if you want to call it a build, versus QT Marshall.
Did, as much as anything else.
I mean, shit. Where did QT come back from, to be fair? But Paul White, though, funny enough, the Big Show was on commentary. I mean, could you expect anything less? This match, by just looking at it, seems to have gone for a farewell. Yeah. But get this. They love actually bearing their own talent because QT didn't get the win. It was actually Big Boom AJ winning via pinfall with apparently a power bomb.
A power boom, Jimmy.
Oh, sorry. A power boom. Right.
Which I assume is a power bomb.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't watch the pre-show. I'm glad I didn't. I only wanted to see Mortos, if anything.
I'm glad too. I'm glad you didn't too.
But unfortunately, I did watch the pay-per-view. And we start off with a bit of a, I don't want to call it a banger per se. Actually, it was pretty short for this many guys in the ring, to be fair. But it's for your tag team championships, because it is the kings of the Black Throne in Brody King and Malachi Black. And before I continue, Vet, I've noticed a lot of people online are still confused about who the kings of the Black Throne are and why.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
It's Brody and Malachi. It always has been.
Right.
Whenever they're just a duo, it's they have a different theme song. I think the theme song is done by Brody King's band, right?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that, but if it is, pretty cool.
Yeah. They always have a different song and presentation when they do that. And so, yeah, that's just their tag team name. And then they're a whole house when Buddy and or Julia is there. So what's confusing about any of this?
Apparently people didn't realize that the reason why they have a different name is because they were already a thing long before the House of Black was a thing. Hence why they're called the Kings of the Black Throne, because that's what they always were. But anyway, I know you know
wait. Mike Martin, my friend, said Paul White put Daddy Magic in his place on commentary. Please do tell. I want to hear more about that. But anyway, while he's letting us know what happened, or what he's referencing, then go ahead and let's talk about this match.
Lenny Poffo.
I only saw a little bit of it, but did you have anything you wanted to say before I saw the finish?
It wasn't a bad match, to be fair, right? But I felt like I was happy to hear shots again with Private Party, because it just makes them more over. The fans love it. They react to it. Everyone's going, shots, because their new theme song sucked. So I'm glad they went back to that. But anyway, look, it was all about really the Acclaimed in some ways, dude. In a lot of ways, this match.
Well, one big way.
Max Caster being the prick, you know what I mean, of the team. You know, they're not getting along. They're not gelling. So, you know, basically, obviously they're going to turn. There's going to be a turn coming up. I don't care for it, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I wanted, Turbo and Truth to win the match. Unfortunately, I knew they weren't going to. And my actual prediction was for, Private Party to actually win this match.
Because they just won the belts, right?
Right, exactly. They weren't going to lose it. And exactly, surprise, surprise, how predictable. Private Party do win via pinfall, via the gin and juice of Max Caster retaining their AEW World Tag Team Championships.
They got a gin and juice on Caster, who right before this tried to let Anthony Bowens pin him in the match so that they could win the titles that way. And this fucking idiot Rick Knox actually got down and counted it.
And the commentators were even letting him know about it.
Right.
They were saying,
the commentators like, well, I don't know what would have happened if that had, they were confused. So no one ran this spot by the announce desk either. It's one thing to do that spot, but the referee has to be like, what are you guys doing? Get up. Like he can't allow that.
Confused, bro. He literally was looking around like,
it's Rick Knox. When does he ever not look confused? He's one of the worst referees who's ever lived. But anyway, but yeah, besides that, we also had the reason when you were saying it was all about Max Caster in many ways, because we had a loud "fuck you, Caster" chant, and the reason they were chanting that, specifically was because the Outrunners were about to win and he broke it up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then they started chanting it because they really wanted Outrunners to win, just like we all, I'm sure, did.
And they will. It just wasn't the time yet, though.
Right. And this was like, I think the announcer says something about this being like close to Bowens' hometown, so he just has to get the heat by association with this fucking guy. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's just kind of silly, their dynamic, man. Are you telling me they haven't spoken outside of the ring all this time about what's going on? It seems like it's always something new for him. You know what I mean? For Bowens, that is. Just hurry up and split these guys or get them on the same page. I don't know, man. But next, we see Orange Cassidy is interviewed backstage and tells John Moxley that tonight he's going to show him that AEW doesn't need him and he's going to take the power and the glory, vet, and take the title back. Yeah.
He's going to take the Hercules and the Paul Roma.
Which can't be positive.
Yeah. All right, here's Mike's answer. He says, Magic kept talking about the experience of the wrestlers, and Paul White pretty much told him to shut up. Magic spent the rest of commentary trying to kiss his butt. Okay. That sounds right.
I can picture that. That sounds about right for sure. Thank you, Mikey.
Revamp says AEW has two of the worst referees in history. And guess what? One of them isn't even Aubrey Edwards.
You're going to say fucking Twinkle fucking Fingers. What's his name?
Remsburg.
Oh, no, yeah, Remsburg. I was going to say. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Remsburg and, Remsburg and Knox can go kick rocks. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're very bad. Anyway, next we've got, surprisingly, I didn't expect it to be number 2 on the card because it's an odd sort of placement.
Well, Max has to go home. He has to go home, Jimmy.
What's going on, man? He can't
stick around for this whole show.
Well, funny enough, this is what happens. It is Maxwell.
Would you want to stick around for this?
I sure as hell wouldn't. Versus Roderick Strong. And it's funny because Friedman cuts a promo on the floor before the match can even begin, talking about how he's off making money shooting movies while Strong's mama shot his daddy. Ouch. That was pretty good little jab. But get this, man. He also calls this company piece shit company, whatever he said. He goes, I hate having to be here. He actually said this. I don't even want to be here.
I know what he said because I saw this part. But I'll right. You know what? Can I take it from here? Please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's one of the few things I did see. But you'll get it. You'll understand in a minute. So Max is out there and he says that while he's out there shooting movies, your mama's out shooting your daddy. Okay. Which is supposed to be the line that provokes Roderick Strong to come out, right? So as soon as Max says this, he turns his back and basks in the boos of the people. And Roderick Strong goes out there on the floor. He waits for Max to turn around. Then after like about 1.5 seconds, he realizes, oh my God, I look stupid waiting for this guy to turn around. So he grabs Max and spins him around. And what does he do? He chops him in the chest. Man just talked all this shit and talked about your family and all this stuff, and you're gonna slap his titties. That's what I would do to get my revenge. How dare you talk? I'm gonna slap you in the chest, buddy.
But that's okay. First of all, this is the death of Roderick Strong completely as a character. All the hate that he ever had in this company. No, but now it's truly like kaput. Because MJF absolutely gave it to him in this match. Pretty much, it was a long match though. Way too long. I was actually nodding off. It was fucking long. I was nodding, dude. I was like, whoa.
I kept skipping. I kept pulling the progress bar forward, and it just kept being those two guys.
Dude, I didn't do that, but god damn it, it was hard staying up for it, man. I'm not gonna lie, man, because it went way too long. But all I'm gonna say is I felt like Roderick Strong got absolutely buried in this match. Even at the end because of course Maxwell Jacob Friedman was going to get the win, vice admission no less, with the salt of the earth. But he basically, post match, he puts Strong's arm through a steel chair, and what he does, he Pillmanizes it, as in Adam Cole makes a save, and MJF runs away. Like, of course, right? And then Colorado also comes out shoving Adam Cole away, but helps Roddy back while the Kingdom tends to Cole. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I don't care. And they waited way too long to come and help Roderick, in my opinion. But this does nothing.
You gotta let a guy get a shit in, right?
Yeah, but this is just a sad sort of matchup, dude. MJF looked like. Did you see his back? Did you notice his back? He had acne as hell, dude, on his back.
Obviously, his back. Well, he always has. That's nothing new.
Oh, but it looked like there was a million of them. A million
It
pimples.
always does. They just don't always get up close sometimes.
Yeah.
Look, there's no secret what's going on with MJF, but that's not really the issue. The issue is, again, we're asking a guy to make way too much chicken salad and way too much lemonade. Nobody's that good. And he's so young and he's so good for being so young, but like nobody should be tasked with this. Nobody.
I feel like
the greats of all time should not have to be asked to do all this, let alone a kid under 30. It's just too much. And Roderick Strong, come on. Roderick Strong's been around forever. Dude, but and he should know better. But once he does that where he slides out, the first thing what he should have done is as soon as Max turned his back, he should have just
shoved him into the stairs or something.
Yes. Don't wait for the guy to turn around and then don't give him an open hand chop, you fucking idiot. Just whatever. It doesn't matter. That's where I checked out. Like the moment that happened, I was like, well, this is fucked. And I started dragging the progress bar. So I assumed he wasn't going to win, but I mean, there was no reason for there to even be a match, right? Because this whole thing was like a sweepstakes for Roderick Strong and Adam Cole to see who was going to get their hands on MJF. And this was the chance, but MJF doesn't stand to gain anything by winning or losing this match. So all he should have done was just kick Roderick Strong in the crotch to start the whole thing and get disqualified. And then we could have saved ourselves like 20 minutes off this show.
And you know what's funny too? You know where this might be going? I'm probably wrong because it's AEW, but I'm going by the way they booked things and what it looks like. It feels like everyone's going to turn on Adam Cole now, right? Because it was his fault that Roderick Strong was in this match. If you go by what Kyle O'Reilly said on Dynamite, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember, like, where O'Reilly was basically saying, we're all sick of standing up for you. We don't want to do it anymore.
He's just saying, just let it go. You're not going to.
Yeah. Just let it go, man. He didn't say it in those words, but that's what he's implying, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously. And now, so what's going to happen? Is Adam Cole going to be a bad guy? Is he going to be like a heel again? Because everybody just is sick to death of his bullshit? Because that's what I feel like they're going. And then what does this mean for MJF? He's going to laugh and say, I told you all along he was a bigger devil than me.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? It's fucking kiddie shit, bro. Like, if they're going that route, it is so stupid, man.
The great storytelling. Like they're going.
Yeah. Pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. But if that's the case, and I'm praying I'm wrong. I'm praying that I'm wrong. But that's where I feel like they're leading us, man. And I don't care. I don't want to see that. But whatever, man. It is what it is.
Nobody does. Once you've been to the top of the mountain, you don't want to see anybody like, down at the souvenir shop, at the foot of the mountain.
Oh, man. Anyway, whatever. We'll see what happens. I hope I'm wrong. But see, already that just left a bad taste in my mouth. But it gets better because next it is your AEW TBS Championship match. Oh boy, between Chris Statlander and I know the kids love calling it Toyota Money these days, right? I don't know if you've noticed, but Toyota is fucking good, man. As a matter of fact, that's an insult to Toyota, in my opinion. But anyway, look, it's Mercedes Money for now. But this damn match. If this didn't have AEW written all over it, I mean, shit. It looked like Statlander was going to win this match, but you knew she wasn't, right? We're getting near fall after near fall after near fall, finish after finisher, blah, blah, blah. Kick out after kick out. The match went for a good 30 minutes, it felt like, as well, again. But Monet wins cleanly, mind you.
Cleanly?
Well, pretty much.
I don't know. I didn't see the finish, so.
And get this, she just rolled her up, but she rolled her up good, dude. Like, when they go back, the victory roll pin, you know what I'm talking about? How they go back and pin the legs, but she also grabbed the arms, if you know what I mean. So really, there was no chance you had any chance of kicking out of that move.
Well, yeah, with these referees, you don't want to have them push your shoulder down for you.
Yeah, she did it for him. All good.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I was skipping through this just because I didn't have enough time. I wanted to watch it.
It was
From what
long,
the spots I saw, it seemed like they put on a clinic, or at least Mercedes put on a
dude. It
clinic
was
with
an
this out of
AEW
shape,
clinic.
step slow, washed up, alien. But it seemed like she was like getting the most out of her that she could.
It was all Monet in this match, man. She carried this match by a
Right.
long shot. I find it funny that Mike Martin says the marks say Fatland did great. Well, the marks don't know shit because
Right.
it was all
When
Monet.
you always see you always see the people that are made to look good as looking good when you don't have the critical eye. I mean,
Right.
even just taking my phone and skipping through this match, the spots that I was seeing, I was like, Mercedes is just running this whole thing. Like, she's
Totally, bro.
trying to, and the people seem like they were into it. So kudos for that. But I
I mean,
didn't
look,
get to
by
see
the
the
end of
whole
it,
thing, so I can't say for sure.
look, I could go into full detail, man. I don't want to be here for like, 10 hours. Obviously, I could run down the match completely if you guys want me
Fair
to, but
enough.
I'm just giving you the basics. You know what I mean?
No, no, no,
Like,
no, no. This is what we want, the basics.
right, exactly. I'm just
And
giving
and
you the
after
lowdown.
after the next match, I'm not going to have anything else to contribute. So you could speed through the rest of it, please, as quickly as you want.
Yeah,
Um,
no, because look, all I'm saying is it was a typical AEW match, right? But in saying that, they did work their asses off, but it was all Monet. Monet absolutely made herself look like $1,000,000. But I don't know what this does for Statlander. I'm sure they're going to have a match number 2. She could have won at one point. You did think that just maybe Statlander had a chance, even though you knew she didn't.
that's the
But
mark of a
yeah,
great worker. If you're almost sure of the finish and then you think they're gonna swerve you, that's a great worker. So Mercedes
absolutely,
needs
man.
more credit. I know that the presence and booking in AEW has been terrible, but like she's doing what she can. Um, Charles the Hammer is just back from church. Thank you, Charles, for hanging out.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
what's up,
Um,
Charles?
I'll take the baton back for just this one match, Jimmy, because I watched it.
This
Of
is my
course,
match,
I had to
man.
get my, I had to get my, I had to get my J Mignon
Ah,
in.
shit.
Okay. See, I
I'm
had to
just
get my,
glad.
I had to get my switchblade on, right? It's gonna be
I
the
love
only
that
thing
thing,
I eat
man.
all week off this company. So, I had to get it in,
Love it.
and this is where we talk about um how I can be as unbiased as possible. I always try to be unbiased, which is where I enjoy Jay White. I don't give a shit about Hangman, but I enjoy Jay White, and I wanted to watch this match and I wanted to enjoy it. And even though I thought for the average person, I think they had a good match, but for me, I kept seeing stuff where I was like, I kept finding a hair in my food. Basically, is what it boiled down to. Like, because just like stuff like they're up on the top rope, like doing something for like 10 years. It felt like I was just like, oh my god, this is longer than the pre-show. They're up here on the top rope, and the referee's just standing there letting them be up there. The spot where Hangman had him in an ankle lock, and Jay like walks back to the ring on his hands. I'm like, I thought this guy was unhinged. Just snap his ankle. What are you doing? Like, why are we?
That's
What
kind of
what are
dumb,
we
bro.
doing here, you guys? It just little things like that where I'm just like, you guys did most of a great match, but what you did kind of dragged it down. So I was disappointed. I assume it's all Hangman's call, and
No, no, no,
shame
no.
on you, Jay, for going
That's
with it.
Jay. You could tell that was a Jay call, bro. I was just thinking to myself, that is such a Jay White thing to do, bro. And I think that was all Jay. You know what? I know. Come on, let's be real.
I
We
just
can give
I
shit
don't
to
know.
Hangman, but that
He's
was
not
Jay.
perfect, like I said. Nobody's a perfect wrestler, so
It just
anyway,
comes
yeah,
across
they do like 50. The match, like I said, it was pretty exciting. I just don't like when people work the leg because nobody sells the leg correctly or at all. They just, most of them go to the Seth Rollins school of selling, where you can do whatever you want as long as you grab your leg at the end. And yeah, so so he can't do a vertical suplex, but he could do a deadlift German with a bad leg. You see what I mean? Like the
bro.
inconsistencies of shit like that. So shame on you, Jay. I love you, but shame on you. And anyway, they do 50 counters You know, like the whole end of the match is like counter, 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 and then he hits the Blade Runner out of nowhere, and I was like, yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Beat this loser. It does nothing for Jay White
It does.
or it does nothing for Hangman to win this match. It really
because
does.
he never has beaten him. That's why.
Yeah, and it actually does more for what, as stupid as his gimmick of being unhinged and crazy is, it actually does more for his gimmick to lose because it gives him more like fuel to the crazy fire, so to speak. So he does use the heat back, and then Christopher Daniels comes out and he's like, hey, how, you know, because with all the kidnappings and torturings and, you know, vehicular assaults and everything else that goes on in AEW, the last thing you want to do is have a guy punch another guy, right? We can't have that. So Chris Daniels comes right out, and then Hangman punches Christopher Daniels. And then the referees, not the referee, the announcer, Excalibur's like, well, I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of fines and suspensions for hitting an AEW official. I'm like, so what's the punishment for kidnapping and torture then? If punching Christopher Daniels gets you fined and suspended, what's the... Anyway,
no
you
such
get my
thing,
point.
dude. No such thing. Neuralized vet right now. There we go. Forget it. Anyway, that's me taking over again, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just glad Jimmy. Jay. I'm just glad
as long as Jay wins, that's all. We're marks now. As long as Jay wins, Jay wins, baby. Switchblade.
Hey, but we did call him out on
you
the
can
bullshit.
all breathe with the Switchblade in his new era.
You said it like that. Impresses me every time you say the era part, dude. The new era. You do it like him. That's
I've been practicing my New Zealand.
You probably have. No, but anyway, speaking of New Zealand, we go from one cheap fucker to another. Hey, it's Cole Fletcher against Will Ospreay. and look,
I thought Kyle Fletcher was from the Gold Coast.
Well, he's from Sydney actually, but
whatever.
But still, he does come across like a dude from the Gold Coast. I won't lie. That's actually true. But anyway, this match, dude, not only did it go felt like an hour, but put all the other matches together, right? Like with all the near falls, all the previous matches, and then double it by 20. This is the match. It's the Switchblade era, right? This is the one. But you know, I will say
this, Jimmy. I couldn't wait to not watch it.
This should have been an Iron Man match because it really did feel like it. But the amount of look, it was a great match. I was dozing off again. I'm telling you, I was. Man, when it's too long, dude, like, and you start getting comfortable and you're seeing near fall after near fall, and every time you think it's going to be over, it's not. But you know what woke me up was a bad botch. There's a couple of bad botches in this match. Surprise, surprise. Okay. But you know what? I also felt like Will Ospreay, man, he was throwing some fucking potatoes on Fletcher, which was cool because, you know, it makes sense with the feud and whatnot. But what I couldn't believe, and this is the only thing I got wrong for this show, Cole Fletcher actually won the match, and I felt like it was probably the right man to win the match. And I know this would have been all Ospreay saying, nah, bruv, you're going to go over me, bruv. I'm telling you, bruv. I'm going to make you tonight, bruv. Trust me, bruv. I've got you, bruv.
How did you do it? Screwdriver?
Yeah, but right onto the friggin' turnbuckle, dude.
Oh.
It looked bad, dude. Like, I mean, oh, man. It looked like his head literally bounced off the turnbuckle onto the floor. And that was the finish, man. But that was after, dude. Even with the what does he call his Ospreay's finisher? What's it called again? The arm
blade
one?
Or
the hidden blade? That's it.
Stormbreaker.
No, wait, no. The hidden blade. I was going to
say that's not necessarily his finish. I think the Stormbreaker is like his main finish, but
it is.
You're talking about the strike, the elbow strike thing, right?
Yeah, lately, he has used that in a few finishes, but that's not technically it's his signature, though. You're right. But anyway, when he did that, I mean, that looked like it connected, bro, and knocked him out. Of course, Cole Fletcher kicked out. I mean, surprise, surprise. I mean, Ospreay threw everything at Fletcher. It was not working. Even Callis was giving Ospreay his props. But dude, the way
he hit him with the Stormbreaker.
No.
Well, if he hit him with a Stormbreaker, he wouldn't have kicked out.
He did. No, he didn't. I'm 100% sure. No. He didn't. I'm just double checking. He actually didn't get the chance to hit that. But nevertheless, Cole Fletcher ends up winning with the. I know, Charles. That's what done my head in, man. A million false finishes. Like I said, put every match previously together, multiply it by 10. That was how many near finishes. Oh, excuse me. But the way the finisher was with the screwdriver on the top of the turnbuckle for the 1, 2, 3 looked brutal. It looked like Ospreay was actually knocked out. He wasn't, I'm sure. But it looked good, man. The thing that was weird, Cole Fletcher was bleeding around the thigh area. I don't know what happened there.
Period.
He was.
Sounds period.
It could have been.
The pad slipped out.
It looked weird, dude. His thigh was bruised from all the kicks. These guys were going hard. Like, there's no doubt on each other. There's no sugarcoating it. I'm trying to go quick. But yeah, Cole Fletcher wins by pinfall with a turnbuckle brain buster, if you want to call it that. Post-match, we see Mark Davis and the ringside doctor attempt to wheel Ospreay. For a moment, it felt like, was Mark Davis going to turn and join Fletcher? But because Fletcher doesn't want to hit Davis for some reason. You noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he does. It's still his friend. Mark Davis didn't do anything to him, and he didn't do anything to Mark Davis. So he wouldn't have any reason to. See, that's the only bit of logical storytelling that they're doing right now.
Yeah, but it's going to go nowhere anyway. So
it's going.
Well, they see something in Fletcher, dude. Obviously, this company is going to probably do big things with this kid, man. I mean, he's still in his 20s. He's not even in his late 20s, but he's in his mid-20s.
All right, we got plenty of time to talk about him later. Let's move on to the next match.
You see, I'm choking already because of him.
Yeah.
Well, this is your match, actually, Vet. If only you were around to watch it. Actually, before we do go there, it's Amina Shirakawa comes to the stage for Mariah May's long-delayed championship celebration. She introduces May as her friend, her partner, and the love of her life.
Yeah.
Mariah with the black guy says, "We finally did it, and this is the celebration she always deserved." She says there's not a single woman alive who can touch her, and says she couldn't have done this without Mina, her one true friend, apparently. Mina then grabs a champagne flute for each of them, and they link arms to toast her. May calls for celebration, and Mina dances on the stage. Mariah grabs a champagne bottle and lines up to blast her with it, which is odd. I didn't expect that yet. Then we see Mina kicks the actual champagne bottle out of her hands and spits at her, and then spears her off the stage to a table. But what's funny about that, Vet, they're meant to go through 2 tables, but instead they bounced off the first table. Both of them literally bounced and then went into the second table and it broke. I found that pretty funny. Looked awkward, but still,
what the hell is this?
Bang.
We're cutting off the shaking already.
Yeah, I don't understand where this came from. No one saw.
We had months to go with this.
Apparently, but obviously this was going to happen cold-blooded. But I honestly didn't expect it. Now I didn't even see the sign.
All right. Well, what else happened?
Well, next is the Vets match of the night. It is the Red Death, Daniel Garcia, versus the Scapegoat in Jack Perry for your TNT Championship.
Versus the Little Brooks Jensen.
Oh boy. Dude,
all right, can we skip straight to the finish?
Look, I didn't give a shit about this match, but guess what? Garcia is your new friggin'
fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. He's your new AEW TNT champion. You know what, dude? I can't stand the little friggin' Jensen kid, right? I can't stand Garcia either, man.
Right.
I'm not sure.
But I can stand Garcia a lot more. I'll put it that way. At least I've never seen. At least I've never seen. I don't have any evidence of Daniel Garcia blatantly disrespecting the wrestling business. So if he has, I just haven't heard about it yet. But he seems like a nice kid. I just really, really don't care about him. But that's apathy rather than, Jack, who I wish would just go away. So, whatever. But
well, Garcia, like I said, becomes a new champion. Good on him. Cool, I guess. but I don't care. That belt's just going to shit at this point. But next we've got another championship match. Mind you, didn't they they've been promoting the Continental Classic, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't write it down in any of my notes, but I did see the thing where it's like showing that it's coming up, and I think it'll finish like at World's End, and then Okada's like saying, "I'm the best tournament wrestler of all time," and all this stuff.
But what I'm confused about, there's no more Continental Championship, correct?
No, Okada is the Continental Champion.
Right, but he's the international champion now, isn't he?
No.
Wait,
no, the international champion is Takeshita.
Okay, didn't they change the name of the Continental Championship from one name to another?
No,
I thought they did, dude. One of those.
No,
belts
you're thinking of the Atlantic Championship becoming the international championship. That's a whole other belt.
Okay,
the Continental belt is for that tournament, for the fake G1 tournament.
I was going to say,
Eddie Kingston had 2 other belts. Eddie Kingston he was a triple crown because Eddie Kingston won the Continental Championship, and he also had the Ring of Honor Championship and the New Japan Strong Championship. And now he lost all those. And Okada has the Continental Championship. That's it.
Okay.
So he's the defending Continental Champion, even though that's not how tournaments work. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, it is for your international championship now at this point.
God.
Between Konsuke Takeshita, your champion, versus Ricochet.
Did Ricochet do it? Did he do it?
Come on. Do you really think that? Don't you remember he gets more and better opportunities in AEW than he ever did in WWE? Come on.
So he won it. So he's the
he
new
lost.
Oh my God. What?
Takeshita wins by pinfall, retaining his AEW International Championship, which makes me wonder what the hell is he on about when he talks online, dude? Because I'm starting to feel, no shit, and I truly mean this, he'll showcase so much better in WWE, dude, by a long shot.
Well, at certain points in time, certainly, yes.
Just saying, dude. Just saying. So far, this has been a shitty run for me for Ricochet. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe it'll change.
Man, you never know for sure until you go there and find out. Yes, it is indeed like what everybody said it was going to be like, and you were wrong.
I know you're a huge fan, and I get it, but
I feel sorry for the guy.
Well, that's on him. It's his fault. Speaking of feel sorry, I don't know if you're going to feel sorry.
He'll cry himself to sleep on his piles of money and his beautiful wife or girlfriend or whatever she is.
I think they're married now, actually.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations to them. Anyway, next it is Bobby Lashley versus Shane Swerve Strickland.
Oh, yeah. He does have a first name, doesn't he?
He does. His name's Shane, not Isaiah. Just quietly. It's Shane. That's his shoot name, mind you. But anyway, who do you think would have won this match? I mean, take a wild guess.
Well, it better be Bobby Lashley, but who knows anymore?
Of course, it was Lashley. Lashley does win, and made Swerve and look like idiots as per usual. Funny enough, Swerve did come out with his own mask of his face on himself. Yeah. How does that make sense? That's like you walking out right now to this show with a mask of your face while you're here doing your podcast.
And then I'm just like, surprise, motherfuckers. And
surprise. But then it's right. On the back of his shirt, his vest, whatever you want to call it, it's also got his face on it. I don't know what that's supposed to symbolize, but
and it's really him this time, right? They didn't just put his coat on a guy and make him wrestle Bobby Lashley, right?
No, it was him. He looked weird though, because he had sort of 2 ponytails happening in a ball. But anyway, it was him, and it wasn't even long, this match. But before, there was a lot of fuckery, of course, because Shelton Benjamin does get thrown out of the match, even though we still got MVP and Prince Nana in the match. Whatever. Cool. So Shelton's gone because he got busted interfering twice. Look, this is all Lashley, dude. I did like what Swerve did on the announce desk, even though I hate the spot because Lashley literally has to get up and move over to the table type of deal while he's supposed to be selling that he's hurt. But you clearly see that he gets up kind of and then places himself on the table for Swerve to stomp him through the table, which looks cool. I like that, right? But I just didn't like the setup because the cameramen seem to always catch this shit and it just takes me away from it, which is sad. So, yeah, please, production people, do better. Or Lashley, I don't know. It's not your fault, really, because what else could you do? If anything, you should have been Swerve that placed him in the right position for Swerve to actually pull off that move. So, Swerve, it's on you, buddy. I'm just saying. Nevertheless, it's all good because Lashley does win via submission with the hurt lock that absolutely does not hurt. There you go. I'll just.
Well, he can make it. He can make it hurt.
People turn blue apparently in the hurt lock. So, Swerve was out. He didn't even check up on him 3 times. Almost a screw job, dude. He just went up to him. He looked like he was out. Ring the bell. It's over. That's it. Where do we go now with Swerve? I have no idea, dude. But I guess his feud's going to continue on, right?
I guess. I mean, what else is there though? He just beat him. I think he should move on. I think the Hurt Syndicate should move on, and Swerve should like act like he's not going to move on, and then they should have somebody like intercept him so they have to move on.
And then they walk out anyway. The Hurt Syndicate screaming out, "We hurt people," like their song, which is annoying in a way. We hurt people. We hurt people over and over and over again.
Hey, could you guys go hurt the Death Riders, please?
Oh God!
Please.
Wait till we get there, please. You're gonna love this,
please.
But we're here actually, Vet. As a matter of fact. But before we do talk about that, Lashley does put Prince Nana also in a hurt lock for good measure, and just dumps him like nothing, while Swerve and Nana are like, Swerve, Nana, trying to like touch hands. You know what I mean? For good effect. Oh, poor guys. Okay. Anyway, they hurt people. That's the point. They sure did hurt these guys, and that's that. But now we're off to the main event. Now, by this point, I woke up again for the Lashley Swerve match. Like I was in it like the whole time.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then we got this damn match. And it is for your AEW World Championship. I don't even know where to begin this because this is one.
Begin at the end. Begin at the end.
All right, let's go to the end, man.
Because I assume that I assume without having seen it, I'm just going to assume that no matter what shenanigans happened after the match was over, no matter what they did, I assume they still had a full match right before all that stuff happened, where a bunch of other stuff. Even though we're gonna, this is all about the story and everything else. They still had like a 25-minute wrestling match, right?
But then there was like a 20-minute clusterfuck of all clusterfuck.
Okay. So let's skip straight to the finish. Skip straight to the finish and the cluster.
Oh my God, where do I begin, bro?
Just what did Moxley put him to sleep? Did he put him in the sleeper and beat him?
Well, Moxley wins via Death Rider, of course, right? But
not of course. He's been putting people to sleep lately. So I wanted to know.
No, he won by the Death Rider. 1, 2, 3. But you know what's weird though, dude? I still didn't see an AEW World Championship.
He still ain't happy.
He didn't.
Is that so that even if Orange Cassidy wins, he couldn't take the power back?
I don't know, man. But now it's like I'm starting to really think: is this belt gone MIA for some reason? I mean,
I don't know. Well, anyway,
I didn't catch the very end. Maybe he had the belt magically appear at the very end. Oh yeah, it's in the briefcase. That's right. We'll get to that in a moment.
Oh, the Marina briefcase.
Yeah, it's in the briefcase.
All right.
Anyway,
let's get through this in a quick fashion, please.
But initially, we don't see it when he walks out. Anyway, so yeah, basically there was a lot of fucking around, right? You know, you had and Remsburg was the damn ref for this match. I have no idea why, which made it even worse. But anyway, we got Pac emerging, Costagnoli emerging from the crowd, and then we see the conglomeration. I can't even pronounce it because it's
of course, yeah.
Turning up with Colorado, Rocky Romero, Ishii also arriving to even the odds. Mm-hmm. Then we see Marina Shafir is in the ring with the briefcase, but guess who comes out to this? Willow Nightingale, Vet.
Oh,
she gets involved. Yes, we haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, but here she is. She takes.
Well, she actually technically she's part of the conglomeration though, so this is still making sense.
True.
So go ahead.
It makes sense, but still doesn't make sense. But anyway, she takes out Shafir, and takes her away. Cassidy has the case with Bryce distracted. I'm talking about the ref, and clocks Moxley with it. Moxley then barely kicks out. Wheeler Yuta then slides in with a Basaku knee, and Moxley's ready. Wait.
I thought we already established that he won the match. Why are we going backwards?
I'm just
don't talk about what happened. Who cares about the match? Talk about the post match.
All right, post match we continue with the fuckery because Moxley holds Orange down. Wheeler Yuta then pours disinfectant in Cassidy's mouth. Yes, You heard me right.
What kind of disinfectant?
I have no idea. It's just disinfectant in Cassidy's mouth.
Okay.
I assume it takes.
So we know that because the announcers are saying that's some kind of disinfectant. I can smell it from here. Like what? How?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay. All right.
Also, but maybe it makes sense. When you brush your teeth and you drink orange juice and it tastes like shit right after it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've never done that, but sure.
Well, yeah, if you try it one day, you'll see what I mean. As a kid, anyway, I won't go there. Anyway, so that shit is all happening. So apparently disinfectant in Cassidy's mouth. Hamin Page arrives and stares Moxley down now in the ring. Christian Cage then, Then Christian Cage attacks from behind and it's a kill switch. But Hangman? Yes. But Hangman has the contract though, right? And Cage takes
whoever touches it, that's who gets to cash it in?
It gets better and worse depending how you see it because our boy gets involved too. Anyway, Hangman has the contract. Cage takes it back after a beat, and Hanger limps his way back up the ramp like a friggin' loser. Christian then holds the contract up, but guess who comes and attacks him from behind? Vet, take one guess.
Well, it's got to be the Switchblade Jay White.
It is the Switchblade. Jay White.
He's got unfinished business with Christian Cage, obviously.
Clearly he does, but I didn't know why this had to be in the main event. But anyway, Jay White attacks him from behind and lays him out with a Blade Runner, and then everybody leaves after that because of Jay White, apparently. So everybody leaves. The camera follows Death Riders as they make their way out of the truck or out to their truck, and a car crashes into their truck. I'm not lying. This is what happened, yeah? So now they jump in the truck, and then you see a car crashing into their truck, and they all get into another car suddenly, I don't know how, and drive off. And then you see Darby Allin gets out of that car and clambers onto their truck and smashes the windshield with, guess what? His skateboard as blood pours down his face. And that's how the show ends. Yeah.
Oh, so the show ends with some blood pouring down whose face?
Darby Allin's face.
But who smashed who with a skateboard?
Darby smashed the truck.
Oh,
with his skateboard. So get this, don't ask how this happened, right? So they were in
where the
truck,
blood come
right?
from?
I don't know.
Did I mishear something you said, or I
want to know.
What did he hit? How did he hit the truck with the skateboard? Did he swing it at the truck, or did he ride the skateboard and the truck hit him?
No. See, but wait, no. Wait. Let me rephrase something. He started hitting the truck once Moxie's crew escaped into another car and drove off, and then he hit the truck because he's a bad man.
Oh,
he does it when there's no one around. Get it?
Oh,
yeah, capiche.
Now I totally still don't get it. Well,
see what I mean?
This is why I close. This is why I normally close my eyes during the impact attack when Brandon does the punching up, because I can visualize it. Like as he's speaking, I visualize the things that he's saying and I play them in my brain. But I was just looking here at Jimmy and at I was also looking at the Jay White in the camera, so I was a little distracted, and I guess I must have not visualized it very well. It sounds like it sucked.
This was the worst. I kid you not, the worst finish to a pay-per-view in pay-per-view history, bro. In any sport, I don't care what it is. Like even worse than Conor McGregor getting found guilty for rape. If you've heard, I should have brought that up earlier. He's a rapist now. Jeez. The
Come
point
on up,
is,
you rapist.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't have the soundbite. I have to do it myself.
I know I have to get that myself too. But anyway, the point is, this was I don't know what this was this is worse than WCW 2001, bro, or 2000 for that matter.
It's probably at least on par. So did Switchblade? Did what ended up happening to him? Did he just
nothing? He just
nothing.
The camera pans back. He just goes to the back, and that's when we see
he just attacked Christian and left.
Yeah, no, he was in the ring. He was still in the ring by the end of the show. So once you see him in the ring, he starts walking out, whatever, and then they go to the back, and that's when you see all the bullshit going on and continuing on.
Okay.
But I want to know who was driving. Why was there a backup car? How did they know that was going to happen? You know what I mean? They just
Moxley's got he's got an A plan, a B plan, and a C plan.
Smart fella. I mean, whoever booked this needs to be shot straight up, man. I said it.
Or have their mouth washed out with disinfectant.
This is going to be all over Botchamania's revamps of saying, hey, cluster mania, exactly. Even on, I prefer, you know what? I think, what's it called? Promo Joe, I find funnier than Botchamania, even though they're the same shit. But, yeah, it's going to be, just watch Botchamania or Promo Joe this week. I'm sure you'll have a ball. I'm glad you didn't watch that crap. That last bit was the worst, bro.
Me too.
The worst. I'm telling you, there's no worst.
To quote,
this comes up AEW, period.
Well, as far as like Tony, and I guess we have to say Moxley, since he's in charge of his own creative, you know, if it was that bad, then to quote a line from Will Smith in whatever movie he said it that I forget is, he said, I picture that going differently in my mind.
Dude, this is worse than ECW 2001 even. This is worse than anything TNA ever put out.
Oh,
XWF, CZW, bro. I've said it. There you
go. I don't believe that.
Even
but it does sound pretty bad though.
Bro.
It does sound pretty bad. Hey, look. You know what? Let's not worry about that. Let's be happy about the fact that it's over now. We're all still here. We all survived. We had a good laugh. We spent a nice Sunday morning / afternoon together, and we had a good time, and we had some laughs, and I showed the Jay White action figure a bunch of times. And, you know, I think as a whole, as a positive, when you really look at everything, you know, this was all worth it. It was all worth it.
I wish we did a watch along to this, because I would have loved to see your face while watching it.
Yeah, people would probably expect me to like get mad at like, you know, like do the Jim Cornette thing where I get mad and cut a promo, but like it really just makes me sad. You know, that's all it really does. It makes me just not want to talk about it anymore. It makes me want to leave. It makes me want to click the close button on my StreamYard. That's what it really does. It doesn't like really. It just makes me go, I walked away from this and I care more about it than they do.
That's it. Vet is done. You've exploded finally. Like, even though you're not losing it, when I see you like this, it worries me. I'm not going to lie.
No, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, because like I said, it's all you guys that are watching live, and everybody that listens on Channel Attitude later when they're at work or driving or whatever. Like, really, that it's worth it. It's worth all of this. Even if I did, the only reason I didn't watch Full Gear is because I didn't have time to. That's the only real reason. I would watch it for you guys, and I'd talk about it with you guys, and I'd love to. So it's I'm having a good time. Don't worry about me, Jimmy. I'm having a good time. And I just like some of the wrestlers on this show, like MJF, Jay White, Mercedes, like they have to make so much chicken salad, and I'm doing the same thing. So hopefully you guys are enjoying what we're serving up here at Hamin Media Group.
Absolutely. And what a classic song, by the way, Zane. Don't worry about that Argentina.
That's right.
I like that. That's a good shout.
I promise I'll never watch Full Gear. Yeah.
Never, bro. Stay away. I didn't know they actually sell Blu-rays on their website. You know that of their silly events. Yeah, they
Oh
do.
yeah, you got to get that. You got to get that money, bro.
Sure. But anyway, in saying that, Vet, I think we can take it home after a good 2 hour, 10 minutes. Tell them where they can find you, bro.
You can find me in my new era at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. You can catch me at HMG on the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. You can catch me every Monday night at the Impact Attack with Brandon, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern live. And you're going to want to check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers live every Friday at their concrete time. I was off of hosting duties. You know, I got my little two week hosting gig, and Von Lilas is back now. So please go enjoy that. Please go enjoy the new Stevie Richards show episode where he talks about, let's see, what was he talking about this week?
Paul Heyman and ECW One Night Stand.
Yes, the Paul Heyman episode. It was like 3 hours.
It was.
So check out that. He talked about a lot more than Paul Heyman, but that was like the main topic. So very, very good, very interesting. One of the things that's so good about Stevie's show is there's points where he's very honest, but then there's also points where like you can tell that he really wants to like wrestling, like he not current wrestling, but when he talks about old stuff, right. you see that like the sparkle in his eyes, and you hear the excitement in his voice when he talks about the stuff that made him want to be a wrestler in the first place. So I like watching that, because after so many years of hearing him on the Raw SmackDown review with Russo and then Ben later, he has to match their level, which both those guys hate the show. So even if he likes something on the show, he'll generally be low key. But I like hearing him talk about old wrestling and stuff. So that's a can't miss show for me. And that's pretty much it, Jimmy. Anything else that I forget? I'm sure I can remind you at Opinion Haver somewhere.
Well, you did forget, because aren't you supposed to be streaming right after this?
I Twitch.tv Opinion Haver, believe it or not.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's branding for you guys. That's branding.
And what are you playing, or is it a mystery?
I think I'm going to do some co-op Resident Evil 5 today.
Ooh, you know what? I finished that game co-oply back when it came out. It was a killer. The ending was a bit of a killer, man. I haven't played it since then, but I got it. Now I wish I had a PlayStation, because I would have played with you on that one, man. That would have been cool to co-op that shit. But unfortunately, I don't. But I do have every Resident Evil on Xbox. Every single one.
I thought you had a PlayStation 4.
We're gonna buy it. Remember I was telling you?
A 4? I thought you already had a 4.
I've got 4, but I've got all the Resident Evils on the Xbox instead of the 4. I do have the 4, yeah. I will be getting the 5 during Christmas, which is coming up. So,
all right, what else are you getting?
Well, games, whatever. Games
what else are you doing? I'm
what else
pushing you along to finish the plugs.
What else I'm doing? Well, if you like your shows raw, like me and Big Ray does, well, then you come to the right place. They make me laugh, bro. You're throwing me off. Anyway, tune in every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, for I Like It Raw with myself and Big Ray. And there's also the Smack Attack with myself and John, and of course the Wreckage, where we talk all things AEW.
Less than 4 hour Smack Attack this time.
Thank God for that. And lucky because Jeff was in the chat, but you know. But anyway, in saying that, I am Jimmy T. Oh wait, before we do go, thank you everyone for joining us too in the chat, man. These are all great. Please keep liking and subscribing here at Hamin Media Group, because we're up again and we're getting ever so close. Please get us to that 1,000 mark. But anyway, in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the vet Jamie Williams, and you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage.
Right here on
let me kiss the Big Show's butt.
Oh, don't do that. Right here on Hamin Media Group, YouTube, Twitch, and on channelattitude.com after the fact. And we're out. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you by then, and peace.